All right, folks, I greet you. Welcome to another date on Journalist Hangout. It remains the rendezvous for gentlemen of the Fourth Estate. I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. So I welcome you. Now, today on the program, Katsina government engages Vignette Group, I hope I got that right, to revamp 10 megawatts of the Lambar Rimi wind power project in the state. Again, Naira begins to appreciate steadily as Eurobond sales and introduction of electronic foreign exchange matching system boost liquidity. And later on, we'll share this with you. Afe Babalola justifies suit just as group plans protest over Dele Farotimi's detention. I'm hanging out with team captain Babajide Kolade Otitojo. We know him simply as BKO. I greet you.
Good evening, citizen. Good evening, viewers.
BKO, we are joined by gentleman Dotun Oladipo. Dotun, I greet you too.
Good evening, sir. And good evening to our viewers.
Okay. 19 days to Christmas, so plenty of room still to maneuver for you. The team is ready. I hope you are. So let's go straight to business. You know, in a bold move to boost electricity supply in its domain, the Katsina state government has concluded plans to revamp the 10-megawatt wind farm at Lambar Rimi after nearly 2 decades. Okay, Governor Diko Rada made this giant stride known when the original equipment manufacturers, the Vignette Group, in Paris, had a meeting with him. Okay, the press secretary to the governor, Ibrahim Mohammed, disclosed that the state chief executive is committed to working with Vignette Group to rehabilitate the asset and restore its capacity to support the state's growing energy requirement. It is doable, BKO.
Yes, it is. I know this particular project.
Okay.
You know, and every time I go to Katsina, and I see it, it makes me sad that it's just there, wasting space. But Governor Diko Rada, who is a chairman of the governors of the Northwest, has deemed it fit to revive this. We can't, it should bother us. It should bother any government coming into power, coming into office.
Yeah. When
it sees projects abandoned, projects with potential, abandoned for reasons that you cannot explain. Our people in Katsina, it's not as if they have regular electricity. And with the unbundling of the power sector that is going on, with the amendment
to the law.
That is going on.
States, or if you like,
states can generate their own electricity, sell their own electricity, regulate electricity in their states. You can see the steps, the game-changing step that the governor of Enugu has taken. You can see that Lagos State is also
follows.
Yes.
Not to mention Abia.
Yes, the Abia with the geometric company. You know, so we can get it done.
It is doable.
We can move the needle. It's just that the political will is always not there. I was happy to see the governor, to see the pictures of the governor and his host, you know, hinking this deal. And I'm generally happy to do it. So this should tell us that this is not rocket science.
It is not.
If you have the will,
there will be a way.
There will be a way. The way is always there, but we usually don't muster enough political courage to do some of these things. And there are so many electricity generating sources.
Okay, in this case, wind.
We have
there's
solar,
sun,
abundant resources for solar in northern Nigeria. You are and I've said it before that there's a whole airport in India that runs 24 hours on solar, a whole airport. So why can't we electrify our communities, giving them solar power, giving them electricity through hydro, for example. But Brazil, for example, relies heavily on hydro. South Africa relies heavily on coal. And we have coal in abundance. Look at the Dangote cement company in Abajana. It uses coal. Yes, it uses coal. So I think that governors have to take the matter of electricity generation seriously, because this is what will stimulate the economy in their states.
Let me quickly drop this. Former Governor Obongata of my state, Akwa Ibom, told me about the Ikorabasi power plant. Said that the trouble is the power plant generates 110, take it to the national grid.
Yes.
Nothing returns.
Yeah, because that's the law. In fact, you will now find that some states could actually even get more electricity than you.
You see?
That you built the plant.
Because you feed everything into the grid.
You know, because the law says once you generate anything above 50 megawatts, you push it to the grid. When you push it to the grid, they then decide how it's distributed and all that. So I think that Governor Ada has done well, and we need to encourage him.
Doctor, you know, Vicky just talked about having, they say where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
You know, this thing, as he said, is not rocket science.
It isn't really.
I recall in the heady days of the former president Obasanjo's government, when late, what's his name now? The Attorney General who got killed, you remember? Bolaige. You know, it was First Energy. Some Argentines came here, said they will exploit wind, solar, and so on. Yeah. In Africa, Morocco is leading the way. So is it asking for too much if you...
Well, it's not even a matter of consulting Morocco.
Okay.
It's the fact that we have everything that we need here to do it. What has been stopping us has been the law, like BKO pointed out. And what is happening now, in my estimation, is the fact that we have a president who has suffered in the hands of some of the laws that have been put in place. For instance, when Bola Tinubu was governor of Lagos State, he built an independent power plant.
Okay.
And I was shocked on some days when I go to the secretariat, and there is no power.
Yes.
You find out there is no power, whereas Lagos State has its own IPP.
Yeah.
So it is this hindsight that is pushing all of this. If we can do it. For instance, we went to Bayelsa for the Nigeria Guild of Editors Conference some weeks back. And there has been no power in that capital. In fact, the whole state for about 4 months.
And Bayelsa used to run on turbine.
On turbine?
You know, years ago.
Yes.
I wonder what...
So, no, it's all of this that we are talking about. So if each state can get into this and isolate from this so-called national grid, it makes it better.
Or for that matter, take advantage of removing power generation from the...
From being a federal, you know, a federal issue. Because it is obvious now that there are states that can generate their own electricity.
Yes.
And they can make good money from it. Because what we've always wanted as a people is service. It's service. People now do this targeting. There will be power at midnight. And then you see some welders who ought to have worked during the day. They are working at night. You see artisans working at night because of that. So if states can do it, let us allow states. We have sun, we have wind, a lot of things that we can use. And when you go out of this country, go and check some of the top institutions that are into some of these things we are talking about, they are headed by Nigerians or populated largely by Nigerians because we have the skill. But will the laws allow us to benefit from the skills that we have? So we need to really ensure that this move to decentralized power generation and distribution is done. If a state can make it without depending on the center, so be it. Now, Katsina is doing it. With what it has now, at least, even if it's just the state capital, it can work. Lagos State has its own that it can use at any point in time to power the whole of the secretariat and its surroundings. But it's not being used. Because there is a law that says you must feed everything into the grid. And that becomes a problem. So we need to really, really get it right. And we are moving in that direction now.
Okay.
Completely.
It can only get better.
It can only get better if we allow it to get better.
Yeah, because Katsina State, I'm not speaking as an engineer. You know, my street sense tells me Katsina State needs, on the outside, 10, 15, 20 megawatts of electricity.
It can generate it.
If this plant works now, 10 megawatts, do you know it will take a lot of load?
All of those local communities,
okay,
that area,
they'll benefit from it. Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you, some years back, I went to Russia. I went to Obudu.
Okay. Obudu, okay.
Yes, the Rural Electrification Agency provided electricity, this off-grid electricity, well, solar, for the what they call the Bottom Hill community.
Okay.
At the foot of that mountain.
Yeah.
So they had
14 kilometers
they had never seen electricity. And they gave them electricity. Then on top of the Obudu, the Lukato Ranch said they also provided off-grid electricity solution. So that
the settlement in that place is like a totally new settlement.
We know. I'm talking about
I know it.
Yes, you can imagine a tourist resort, an international tourist resort like that, without access to electricity.
Yeah. Recall that former governor Duke designed,
he designed it to be like our own Camp David.
That's it.
Where people can come, hold meetings, take big decisions, where ministers and where the cabinet, the president's cabinet can come and do retreats. And it's such a serene environment.
Yeah.
The weather is really, really pristine, very clean.
Temperate.
Yes. We had an interview in the night. We had to do a kind of campfire.
Yeah, because
it was chilly.
Oh, yeah. So no mosquitoes there.
There are no mosquitoes. Don't like such environment. There are not many places in Nigeria apart from Jos and Mambila.
Okay, and the Taraba.
That's Mambila.
Yeah, that's Taraba. That's Mambila. You feel like you are in the UK. The weather is fine, but they didn't have electricity. Small businesses cannot thrive when they do not have electricity. The barbing salons, how do they operate? Yeah. They don't have it. Even farmers need to irrigate their rice fields and all that.
Okay.
You also need
electricity.
So we need to keep doing our best to improve electricity access. And our people are ready to pay. If you can give them
service.
Because I was told by the Rural Electrification Agency people that people in those rural communities that they gave off-grid electricity to, that they are happy to pay.
Of course.
They're happy to pay. So this must be the thinking going forward for us as a nation. And the governor has done the right thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen that the Lagos governor too, taking both steps in that direction. Yeah. Lagos set the pace with Enron.
Oh, yeah.
But
I remember the dogfight between the federal authorities and
the law is the law. If the law was there, then it's really difficult to I hate the way things went at that time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know that this sort of thing will not happen again.
No, it's never.
It won't happen again.
All right. Time. We'll take our next story.